The art of biblical exegesis is learning how to ask questions of a biblical text. That's a little bit weird. I mean, here we've got these words on the page. How are you? I said, I mean, it doesn't come out. Why would you ask questions of something that can't respond? That's a little bit goofy. But does it respond when we ask questions? If this is a living word, somehow it might respond in a different way. And people fear asking questions, or as Long says, interrogating the text. And why might people fear that? Any thoughts? Sometimes the truth can hurt. Yeah, good.
It's the Word of God, and a lot of people have probably grown up with the thought that you don't question the Word of God, because it's the Word of God. You don't question God.
Excellent. Right. Peter.
Other people already know what it says, so why would you even check? Because you know what it says.
Whoa, right. One of the keys that Long suggests is not to ask trick questions. Questions that we already think we know the answers to, and questions we're not willing to listen to the answer. Yeah. So it's a little bit daunting to think that we're going to question the text. But actually, think of it as pastoral care. If you go out to lunch with somebody and you just kind of do all the talking, how much pastoral care has gone on? Yeah, no, maybe this much. A little more than this much, maybe. And when you ask a question of somebody, it shows that you're interested, right? You're interested in that person's life. You're interested in allowing that person to speak. Think of asking questions of the text in that way. That you want to know, I want to know about you. And so I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's just throw these out. What are some questions that you still have of this text? There's no place where you need to necessarily write all these down, but you may want to take notes just to help in your own thinking. So what are some questions you have of the text? Yeah, Jessica.
I was interested in knowing why the Spirit led him to the devil.
We're not going to answer here. We're just throwing out questions. Anyone else? Mark.
Kind of what implications there are with being led by the Spirit and being tempted by the devil, like external sources. What's the implications of that?
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, Christine.
The question he met throughout 1 through 9, it refers to the devil as in the original Greek is Diablos, and then in I think verse 10 he's named. So what implications does naming something have on? What implications?
Yeah. Excellent. What implications are there as a result of the devil eventually being named in a different way in this text? Good. Ron.
I thought it was interesting that Jesus allows the devil to take him to these different places, but after he has done that, he orders him away.
Huh. Good. Good insight. Curtis.
Is there any significant difference between different translations saying that in the first temptation that he should command the stones become bread versus command that these, or speak that? Is there different implications by the phrasing?
Yeah, those nuances of language help us with the interpretation. Good. Other questions? Sydney.
What exactly is that wilderness? Wildernesses that we go through, the wilderness that the children of Israel went through, where exactly is this wilderness? And in the Greek, I read that the Spirit led him up into the wilderness. And then other translations said the Spirit led him, and Spirit called led him up, but not. Connotation was that he was led up to the wilderness, rather than the Spirit led him up and into the wilderness.
Yeah, again, the nuances of words, but also, is wilderness metaphorical or is it literal What is it in this situation? It's a very good question, worth exploring. A couple others, yeah.
Why did Jesus have to be tempted in the first place?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Jim.
I was interested in verse 11. What ministering did Jesus need from the angels?
That end of that text starts to introduce something new, right? It's sort of, there's this trajectory forward with that verse 11. Brings up new questions, right? So again, to what extent will you expand into that next section? Good. Well, you see, I would say one activity for you all to do is at this point, you look at the text, you've done some exegetical work, just brainstorm all of these questions. If I could have a 1 hour interview with this text, Matthew 4, 1 to 11, what would I ask her? Yeah. What? I didn't want to say it. Okay. What would I ask this text? And just list all those. If I could just find out, what would I need to ask? And that gets the brain moving. When you're stuck, this is a good activity.